What if everything you knew was wrong? The history you were taught, the science you were told to trust, the politics you see unfolding, the psychology that shapes your mind, even the theology that guides your soul. What if none of it is as simple as it seems? Every great story has secrets. Every fact has shadows. And every truth has another side waiting to be uncovered. Here, nothing is sacred. Nothing is off-limit. We dive into conspiracies, hidden histories, and unanswered questions that most people are too afraid to ask. I'll present the theory. You will decide. Argue it, break it, expand it, or prove it wrong. Because theories don't live in silence. They thrive in debate. Welcome to Let's Theorize.
Let's theorize. Are agencies tampering with truth to mask leftist violence and target conservative free speech? America's Reckoning, a tale of truth betrayed, unmasking the deep state's crusade against the right. Imagine a nation teetering on the edge, its heart ablaze with division, where the guardians of justice FBI, DHS, DOJ brandish data like a blade. Carving a narrative that crowns right-wing extremism the ultimate villain. Yet, in the shadows of 2025, the streets tell a darker story. Leftist terror assassinations, arsons, schoolyard slaughter slips through the cracks, whitewashed as accidents or unrest. Why? The more the right is bloodied, the tighter these agencies weave their web, labeling us radicals to strangle our voices. Free speech laws? Can we trust them when they're twisted to tag? None right-wing acts as extremist, while left-wing racial and political murders vanish like whispers in the wind. Conservatives don't crave censorship. We hunger for protection, demanding these corrupt agencies etch the raw truth into their ledgers. No more doctored stats, no more erased reports. Picture the 2020 BLM riot cities reduced to ash. Billions lost, yet CNN dared call them fiery but mostly peaceful protests. Contrast that with January 6, 2021, hyped as worse than 9/11, fueling endless witch hunts while BLM's infernos earned a shrug. The problem isn't speech, it's the rod of agency corruption, skewing data to hunt conservatives while shielding leftist chaos. Charlie Kirk, martyred for proclaiming, "There is no such thing as hate speech. All speech is free speech," stood defiant against Pam Bondi's post-murder cry that hate speech is not free speech. In this tale of betrayal, forged in scrubbed reports, congressional fury, and 2025's raw carnage, 10 electrifying arguments unfold, each a chapter in a saga to expose this deceit and ignite a revolution of truth. Will we let these agencies silence us or rise to demand the facts? Let's begin the story. First argument: Kirk's assassination. Why bury a martyr's truth? It starts with a gunshot in September 2025, echoing through a Utah campus. Charlie Kirk, free speech's lion, falls to an Antifa-linked radical, his manifesto dripping with leftist venom. As the right mourns, the Justice Department pulls a vanishing act, erasing a study on extremism trends. Why now, when Kirk's blood still stains the ground? Is it mere chance, or a calculated dodge to amplify right-wing threats? While his sacrifice screams for justice, the more we're attacked, the louder agencies smear us as radicals, twisting data to choke our speech. Kirk's creed: all speech is free, clashes with Bondi's call to curb hate speech. But the real crime is this erasure. Will we let this martyr's truth be buried, or demand the ledger reflect the facts? The story deepens. Second argument: DOJ's Midnight Vanishing Act. Who's rewriting the ledger? The plot thickens. Days after Kirk's death, a DOJ report on white supremacist violence vanishes into the night. Why, when leftist violence surges like a tidal wave? This isn't routine pruning. It's a cover-up, inflating right-wing stats while burying leftist crimes. Can we trust free speech laws when agencies skew data to silence conservatives? Bondi's warning of hate speech risks censorship, but Kirk's truth all speech must flow free stands unbowed. Conservatives crave safety through transparency, not muzzles. Why won't agencies record the raw facts? As the pages turn, a pattern emerges. Third argument, Minnesota's sacred slaughter. Why hide the hate? The tale takes a darker turn in May 2025, where a Minnesota Catholic school becomes a killing ground. A shooter, armed with an anti-Christian manifesto screaming leftist zeal, massacres 3 children. Yet, it's dismissed as mental health, not terror. Why? Echoing BLM's mostly peaceful cities ablaze. While Jan 6 is likened to 9/11, this mislabeling buries faith-based attacks. As the right demands justice, agencies slap extremist tags on our grief. Why shield leftist motives while branding our pain a threat? The hypocrisy grows, pulling us deeper into the story. Fourth argument, Antifa's urban apocalypse. Why call chaos peace? The narrative surges to August 2025, where Portland and Seattle burn under Antifa's Molotov's billions lost. Officers ambushed in a coordinated inferno. Congress calls it terror, yet DHS dubs it mostly peaceful unrest, mirroring BLM's 2020 fiery but peaceful farce. Jan 6, a 9/11-level attack. Why this double standard? As the right fights back, agencies twist data to paint us as radicals, undermining free speech. Kirk's absolute defense of speech clashes with Bondi's censorship flirtation, but the corruption lies in these soft labels. Will we let this hypocrisy silence our call for truth? The stakes climb higher. Fifth argument, Elf's fiery rampage. Why forgive arson as activism? The story blazes on as eco-radicals torch Tesla hubs and forests. In 2025, ruining lives, yet reports call it nonviolent activism. How can flames be nonviolent? Bondi's hate speech stance post-Kirk risks conflating speech with action, but Kirk's truth all speech is free stands resolute. As attacks on conservatives surge, agencies skew stats to brand us threats, ignoring the leftist firestorm. Why not fight corruption with factual records instead of muzzling speech? The deception deepens, urging us forward. Sixth argument, media's warped numbers. Who's cooking the books? The plot twists further as media outlets flaunt think tank stats, claiming 70% right-wing extremism. But why do leftist hits like Kirk's murder get miscoded or ignored? BLM's city-torching riots were peaceful. Jan 6, a catastrophe. Kirk's free speech absolutism battles Bondi's censorship leanings, but the real villain is agency data fraud, feeding skewed narratives to silence conservatives. Why not demand transparent ledgers to protect, not mute, our voices? The truth beckons, pushing the story toward its climax. Seventh argument, Trump's near death in Butler. Why downplay a bullet for the right? The saga erupts in July 2024, when shots ring out at a Pennsylvania rally, grazing President Trump's ear in a brazen assassination bid by a lone gunman. Yet, as the right rallies around this survivor, agencies and media pivot to right-wing threats, inflating unrelated plots while the shooter's leftist ties, manifestos raging against fascists, fade into lone wolf whispers. Why echo BLM's peaceful fires while Jan 6 is 9/11 reborn? As the right decries this, agencies twist data to brand us extremists, perverting free speech laws. How can we trust a system that buries an attempt on the leader of the free world, while targeting our voices? Kirk's free speech legacy demands truth, not censorship, to shield us. The narrative tightens, nearing its breaking point. Eighth argument, Charlotte's train slaughter. Why bury racial hate? The story's tension spikes in August 2025, when a white woman is knifed on a Charlotte train amid racial slurs, first called mental health until outcry forced a hate probe. Why excuse leftist racial attacks while right-wing words draw extremist fire? Bondi's hate speech line risks censorship, but Kirk's truth, all speech is free, stands firm. Agency corruption, not speech, fuels this evil. Why not force factual records to shield conservatives? The plot races toward revelation. Ninth argument, 2025's blood-soaked shift. Why ignore? The left's surge. The tale reaches a crescendo as independent analyses reveal leftist murders Kirk. Schools, embassies hitting 25 to 30% of 2025's toll, a historic leap. Why cling to right-wing dominance myths when BLM's riots were peaceful and Jan 6 was apocalyptic? As attacks on the right escalate, agencies skew stats to silence us, defying Kirk's free speech legacy. Why not demand uncorrupted data to end this betrayal? The truth is close, but the fight isn't over. 10th argument, agency denials. Why defend a broken system? The story climaxes with Congress demanding answers. FBI and DHS swear no bias. Militias raided, Antifa unchecked BLM's fires. Peaceful. Jan 6 treason. Bondi's hate speech warning risks overreach. But Kirk knew, speech isn't the enemy, agency corruption is. Why let skewed data silence conservatives? When we can demand truth to dismantle this evil, the narrative resolves, but the choice is ours. Epilogue. The truth roars. This tale of betrayal, Kirk's murder, schoolyard graves, bus horrors reveals a chilling truth. Each attack on the right triggers agency smears, while leftist terror hides behind soft labels. This isn't error, it's orchestrated deceit, corrupting data to crush free speech. Conservatives won't bow to censorship, will force agencies to record the raw facts. Will we let BLM's flames be peaceful while Jan 6 echoes 9/11? Will we trust laws warped by liars? Demand audits, transparency, and accountability. The revolution ignites with truth rise up. Question the ledgers and fight for freedom. What will you do to unmask this corruption?